Good evening. Sorry for the 4-minute wait, 5-minute wait. I'm finally here to talk about transitioning your hair from permed to natural. So, why did I decide to talk about this? In casual conversation with people I already know, and with their conversations with other people they know, it kind of comes across that I'm a massive hair nerd. And when it does, people are like, I would love to be able to go natural, but X, Y, Z. And usually it's a thing of, well, I mean, I don't know really what I would do with my hair if it was natural. I don't really know this and I don't really know that. And gosh, I don't know if I could start all over again. And I usually wonder about that last one because I'm like, start all over again. You don't necessarily have to do that. You don't always have to start your natural hair journey with a big chop. Like I've done the whole chop it all the way down to nearly my skin fade in the past, and it's not necessary to do that. That's a choice thing. You can do that if you want to, but if you decide that that's not what you want to do, what you can do is transitioning. That's what we call it in the natural hair community. Transitioning from natural hair to, beg your pardon, from permed hair or texlaxed hair or jerry curled hair, whatever you call it, whatever you've been doing with your hair, you can transition that to fully natural hair. Now with permed hair, that is permanently changed hair. So you cannot undo that. You can't protein treat the heck out of that to make it go back curly. It won't do that because the bonds in the proteins that make up your hair have been permanently severed. They've been permanently broken and denatured, so they won't go back to normal again. I mean, maybe one day somebody will discover some kind of magical scientific way. I mean, when I say magical, I really mean scientific. But yeah, magical scientific way to get your hair to revert back to that. But until then, we will stick with transitioning. So how do I transition? Transitioning is basically allowing your hair to grow out while your relaxed ends are still attached. Now, people do this in several different ways. You could, one, decide to just let it grow out and see how it goes. That method is the easiest. I don't know if it is. It's the least involved. At least people think it is. If you do that, you have the conflict between the textures, you suffer from breakage. It can be a little traumatic because then you have to start figuring out how to handle the hair. That's a lot. It's a lot. But it's easier if you kind of know what to expect in terms of two different textures and what the two different textures might do. The second way to do this is, again, just letting it grow out to a length that you're comfortable with the natural hair, with your relaxed ends attached, but by keeping it in protective styles almost all the time. Now, how you can do this is, let's say, for example, I don't advocate for natural hairstyles, beg your pardon, for protective hairstyles to be kept in for longer than two weeks. Honestly, I would say maximum a month if you can wash in between, but I say that so reluctantly. You can see it. It pains me to say it. But that's because I know that people are really busy and don't have much of a choice sometimes. But you need to figure out a way to cleanse your scalp and to make sure that there's no buildup at the base of your hair in that time. And I think that's quite a lot of stress because the cleansing process itself can also cause damage. You can cause hairs to remove from the follicles. You can cause breakage from that area. You know, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so I've mentioned two ways you can do it: keeping it in protective hairstyles back to back. Another way, not another way, but detailing on that second method that I just mentioned. So what I would suggest is, like I said, keeping it up to a month, taking it out, washing it, putting it in something a little bit less intense. Let's say, for example, with the two textures, to be able to manage these two textures, you need to keep the hair in a state that allows the whole hair to feel like it's the same. To do that, you either need to make the hair curly or you need to make it straight. I wouldn't advocate going straight because straight means you need to apply heat or pressure to the hair. And pressure is just another way to pull at your follicles. Pressure is nicer than heat, or tension is nicer than heat. But again, you risk things like traction alopecia and things like that if you use it too often. So it's it's an option for styling in terms of when you want to do something nice or something a little bit different. But I wouldn't say that's something you need to do back to back. So when you have your window in between the more longer term protective styles, I would say that's when you should probably use something like a twist out or a braid out, or just single twists, single braids, or even better still, just all cornrow back. I no longer am into cornrows because, like I said, my edges since having babies have been very delicate, so I don't really use cornrows anymore. But really anything that is very, very gentle on the hair, but still keeps it nice and put away is what is the best thing for the hair while it's still in that very, very delicate stage. Sorry, I'm moving this so that it's at a better angle. Not great. Okay. Okay. So that's three methods. The method I think is the best, and I think is the optimal way of doing this. Some people like to trim, some people don't like to trim. It is entirely up to you, but just understand and expect breakage of the permed hair. It will break because it will break anyway, because permed hair is very, very delicate hair. It's been, like I said, the bonds in the proteins that make up your hair have been broken, so it's more fragile. A good way to manage this is to protein treat. So every so often, let's say if you're able to leave your hair or style your hair weekly or bi-weekly or like fortnightly, then do a protein treatment and a moisture treatment, either together, or find a good deep conditioner that does both, or you need to treat it so it's basically armed against the elements. That's what you want to do. So you keep that hair healthy, you keep it protected, you keep it safe, so that you can maintain it up until you're ready to actually cut off your relaxed ends. So now what I would say is my method. First thing I would say is, yes, keeping it in protective styles all the time, but here, like I said, 1 to 2 weeks maximum, and moisturize your scalp in between. Moisturizing can be done using things like aloe vera gel, spritz it with water. You don't have to do it often. I'm not saying your scalp should always be wet. That's not what I'm saying. There are also such things, if you suffer from dry scalp conditions, and I mean dry scalp, I don't mean you have dandruff. Check my last video for what I mean by that, okay? If you are suffering from dry scalp conditions, there are fantastic creams created by trichologists and dermatologists for treating your scalp condition to keep your scalp from drying out when you're using protective styles. I will put the link in my description box below for one in particular that was made by a friend of mine, Ebony Ajidua, who is a London hair trichologist and hair coach as well. And she provides those. You can buy yours online and have it sent to you. Of course, I would advocate that you kind of get a consultation first, because I wouldn't say, you don't just self-diagnose, I've got dry skin, because a lot of people think they have dry scalp, but actually what they're suffering from is dandruff, which actually is caused by a scalp that's too oily. Go figure. But like I said, check out my dandruff video and you'll see what I mean. I gave so much detail, so much information in there about why it's not what people think it is, okay? All right. So 1 week, 2 weeks maximum. Take it out, wash it, deep condition it. I mean, you guys already know my routine. My routine's in my shorts, my routine is all over my Instagram, my routine. It's just so simple, straightforward, and you do the same thing, set it, forget it. That's it. But because you're doing it regularly, frequently, and week in, week out, you're kind of like maintaining your hair, you don't end up with this situation where you've caused additional breakage or your hair has been exposed and lost moisture because it's been tucked away. My hair I've only just recently done a re-moisturize, which is why my hair's looking nice and, juicy right now. I literally just did that before this live stream. I've left my hair alone for 2 weeks. Nearly 2 weeks. I left it in the same style. I didn't say I didn't moisturize it, and I didn't say that I didn't wash it. Didn't say that, because we will have to come to that in a different video some other time. But if you notice, I mean, you can't notice by looking, but I've had my hair in 4 plaits. I've tucked these ones into those ones at the back, and I'm just keeping it nice and simple. My ends have been tucked away. All the hair I lost today was shed hair, and that's normal shed hair. My shed hair is reducing because I think I'm recovering from all this hormonal madness. Anyway, so that was just a by the way. That was talking about myself for whatever reason. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. When you do your weekly wash or your fortnightly wash, and this is what I advocate, you grow hair at about a ½ inch a month. I would actually advocate that. At that time, you can't really measure your growth. It's hard to do that because, first of all, even if you have a tape measure and you can measure from your scalp to where the natural hair seems to end, that's what I would call, I would think of that as an arbitrary measurement. You don't really know for sure. You're estimating because your hand might move each time. Do you know what I mean? You might stretch your hair more one time and stretch it less the other time. There's no point doing that when you still have two textures on your head. So what I would say is you can't check to see what your hair growth rate is. Estimate or go with the average rate, which is ½ an inch per month. And maybe at that time, every time you do your, did I say weekly? I said weekly, didn't I? So ½ an inch per month would mean a quarter of an inch every fortnight. Okay, so trim off a quarter of an inch every fortnight. And that means that you're getting rid of knots, splits, any dead ends that might travel upwards. That might travel upwards and damage the rest of your hair. Just trim, 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 trim. If you'd rather not trim that frequently, you can wait and do a big trim at the end of each month, or even at the end of 2 months, 3 months. It's up to you really, but this is the way I'm advocating. This is my favorite way of doing it. That's method number 3, trimming every single time you do your wash. So you do your everything, deep condition, etc., 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 trim, and then style it. Forget about it for the week. That is you done, fam. Done, taken care of for the whole week. Whole week or even fortnight, like I said. In between, like I said, I did a video already on the routine and what I advocate for using for it. Everything possible that you can do to protect this hair, please do. So I'm talking satin bonnets or satin pillowcases or satin bonnets or satin pillowcases. I mean, either or is good. They have their pros and cons. It's up to you. Making sure that your hair is in your protective style, keeping your hands out your head, making sure that the protective style keeps your hair up and away from your collars so that your collar doesn't brush against your hair. Keeping your hands out your hair. I think I might have already said that, but keep your hands out your hair. And let's see. I'm doing this one off the cuff, you know. I didn't actually write any notes or anything because it's pretty straightforward. People think it's a lot bigger and scarier than it is. I just wanted to just put that out there and lay any fears you have about going natural to rest. Because you first of all need to think about it this way. Hair is not just hair. It would matter to you if your hair broke off. It would matter to you if it fell off. It would matter to you if people started calling you your hair names or, you know, reacting to it in some way. Those things are very deeply personal. So hair isn't just hair. So you have to make this decision for you, not because, oh, it's trendy now, not because, oh, this so-and-so did it, so I can do it too. I'm just going to chop off all my hair. You might end up being really unhappy with that decision. So make the decision for you. Ask yourself why you want to do this. If the reason for doing it is, I think I would feel more comfortable with myself and it would boost my confidence to get to know my hair the way it comes out of my scalp. If that's how you feel, go for it. Of course, you know, get information from people like me who are huge advocates of self-love and hair love. Find out as much as you can about how it really is when you're doing these things. When I say 2 different textures at war on your head, I mean it. I have stories about that. I'll have to tell that my horror story some other time. It can't be today. But you know, give it some thought, okay? And if you decide that maybe not right now, not for me, don't let anybody judge you about it. It's a personal decision. It really is. But whatever you decide to do, take care of your hair like it's your baby. You know, treat your hair like it's a baby. Protect it, feed it. Do you know what I mean? Those are 2 things that you need to do. And protect and feed yourself, because good hair starts from within. I say that all the time. Good hair starts from within. If you're not sleeping well enough, if you're not drinking enough, speaking of which, where the heck is my water bottle? I'm thirsty because I've been nattering for a while. if you're not drinking enough, you're not getting enough exercise to get that blood flowing through your body, if you're not, if you're malnourished, if you're stressed, all these things have a massive, massive impact on how your hair does. So if you want to enjoy your hair, start with looking after yourself and making yourself enjoy life. This is not supposed to be a motivational talk. I'm just saying that's how that works. That's the best growth elixir for your hair there ever was. Taking care of your own health, your mental health, and loving yourself. So I think that's just as much as I wanted to say about transitioning your hair. That's why this is probably going to be the shortest video I've done in recent times, because there's not much to say about it. It's not that big a deal. But again, hair isn't just hair. Hair is a big deal to you. You will realize it when you don't have it the way you want it. You know what I mean? So care for your hair. Care for your skin. May your skin glow and may your hair grow. And I will see you in the next video. I will be back on Friday for another Fro Friday video. This week we are talking about understanding product ingredients. I'm looking forward to this one because I'm a massive chemistry nerd and I'm a massive hair nerd. The two things coming together is just going to be great. So I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to read product ingredient lists, how to understand whether or not a product is going to do what it says on the tin or whether it's not, what ingredients you might want to avoid and why, and what things have been cancelled by the natural hair community but don't need to be. You just have to understand what these things do, how much of them, and make informed decisions. I want to empower people to make informed decisions, not create fear. I have this big fear right now that there was no sound throughout this video. I hope I'm wrong, because I've only just realized that my headphones have been plugged in. Oh my gosh. Anyway, hopefully there is sound in this video. Otherwise, I'll have to do it again. Or I might have to lip read. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'll just put the subtitles on the screen. What am I going to do? In the meantime, that's me done for now. If you have any questions at all or anything you'd like me to address or react to, because I do reaction videos sometimes, they're fun. They can be fun. I mean, yeah, they can be fun. They can be horrendous as well. I actually have one coming up. I think I might do it on TikTok. Reaction video to someone brushing their kid's hair, which was, yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, follow me on social media, join the Lazy Naturals hair group, and I will see you in the next video. Where am I? There I am. Okay.